So the purpose of this demonstration is to help you trust your ears in case you were looking at maybe expanding your shakuhachi horizons. What I mean is that if you play the shakuhachi, you probably already have a 1.8 shakuhachi, which is a D, and the next size down is a C. That's called a 2.0. But there's a size in the middle, so that would be D flat, C sharp, just halfway down. And so why would you need a strange size like that? Because even a slightly longer shakuhachi adds a lot of richness. There's another reason that makes them very interesting, because they can still play relatively quick music, because when the holes are closer together, it's easier to move your fingers. When you get to the very long flutes, it becomes hard to articulate. So this is a very interesting step into the direction of a meditation sound. And the one I'm holding right now is particularly interesting because it's a jinashi, meaning that it has no plaster or has no filler built up to refine the sounds. It's kept as natural as possible. I'm going to play it for you just for an example of, say, some mellow notes and then some bright notes, just to see what this flute will do. And a couple things about this, it's sort of a little education I'm giving you here. It has no maker's mark, so that's going to make it a less valuable flute. But actually, if you close your eyes and you listen to this thing, you'll see that you actually get more for your money, and you can have just as wonderful experience. See, sometimes what you pay for is like the number of nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it really should be 7. Okay, it's not worth so much. But listen how this thing sounds. And the scale is perfectly in tune. So it plays quickly too. Now, sometimes a jinashi flute, a natural flute, isn't going to sound so loud and clear, but this one is pretty good. So, this flute is just simply identified by a little sticker on the bottom that says modern, and that means that it's built for modern taste, which is accuracy, projection, but a little bit of quietness in the sound as well. And so I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you some others you can compare these to. Now this 1.9 is made by Yeung. It has his hanko on the back. That's his wood burn stamp that a maker will put on there to identify their work. It has a beautiful and unusual and rattan joint covering. Unusual because it has a sort of a striped pattern to it, which is very pretty. And it's starting to get a golden hue. That's not valuable in itself, but if this is played on a regular basis, it will just become a glowing, amazing thing to behold. So I'm going to play this. I'll play a little something soft. And something dramatic. This is Jimbo Sanya. This is one of the climax parts of Jimbo Sanya, a Japanese hanko Zen piece, which can be dramatic at times. And this is a very well-rounded instrument, and you could see it inspires me to play in a different way, in a more involved way. And so this is a nice flute, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Now here's a flute made by Matsuda, and it's got his hanko on it. It's been repaired. That doesn't affect the value, and this is a very solid flute. It's got a little bit of weight to it. That's another thing when you get to the longer flutes, they can get quite heavy. So sometimes a 1/9 is a nice compromise between something that's not that heavy, but still very playable. And what's nice about this flute is it's got relatively small holes. It's easy to play. I'm going to show you some drama. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes. Red lacquer on the inside. When I started Shakuhachi, I chose a flute like this for solidity and projection and ease of playing. This is a Matsuda, and it's a 1/9 once again. So here's another Matsuda, but this one is a little bit longer. This is a full C, and C is the length of in the West, the Burm flute, the silver flute is a C, the Bansuri is a C, and so of course Shakuhachis come in all sizes. So this is one of my favorite lengths. Although I have need for everyone. If you're a professional musician and you're working with groups, you'll find that one instrument will be best suited for working with that group. So the idea of me making this for you is so that you can play this through good speakers at home. And I don't know anywhere else that you can hear what something sounds like and really study the sound closely before you think about what to do next. So here's a Matsuda, and you know, it was a little bit of a bright, clean sound. So a Matsuda longer actually has a darker sound. And so here's what it sounds like. And the bright end. When you get a flute, you have to learn how to blow that particular flute. And every flute is different because every tree is different. So there's no standard, only that they're in tune and the right length. And there's a lot of variation on how you can make the flute. So keep in mind that somebody's lips are differently shaped than the next person's. So the ends are also built slightly different. You may find that there's a beautiful flute that just doesn't fit your face. Something to keep in mind. And if you grow your shakuhachi collection, certain flutes bring out a nice quality in your playing you may not have realized that was there. Explore the kind of different sound qualities you can get from the different lengths of shakuhachi. And if you are interested in any of these, just follow the links and inquire about it. And leave some comments if you have something to say about these. This Matsuda's hanko on this. and it's been repaired. Flush rattan bindings. This is my favorite kind. It has a monofilament, which is basically fishing line, clear fishing line, tightly wound, and then there's a decorative rattan over the top, and it's flush. So this type of classic binding, you can still get these today, and I do that when my flutes crack. I always go for this type of binding. It's just a certain, you know, taste of mine, and the joint is silver with rattan inside. It's very, very pretty. I hope you play this again. In fact, it would be interesting to see how you think, because the first flute I played was half the price of the second flute I played. The third flute was back the same price as the first one, with a totally different sound. And this is right about in the middle. So the price isn't as important as finding a flute that speaks to you. And these are what we call mid-level flutes. I would not recommend buying a flute on eBay or a place where you can't know the pedigree of the flute. And I can tell you that these flutes have been documented. Ronnie Seldin, and this is from his estate, and these flutes are now coming on the market after a certain time period. So thanks for listening.